Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. All right. Amari Zabak out of the GMS Dallas camp. And this lesson here is going to be entitled, along the lines of, Jacob's trouble being led to the MOTB. Okay. Hey, we here. It's about to, just pretty much go downhill from here. Okay. Who we believe as Nero in the spirit, your president DJ. Okay. We have, his people moving, this government in Babylon the Great. Okay. We read about this in Daniel the 2nd chapter, the divided kingdoms. Okay. The feet, the iron feet mixed with clay. Okay. And that stone that's coming, to break all that up and destroy that statue. Okay. And that's part of, Jacob's end of being in captivity. Okay. But also before, we become the elect is delivered out of captivity. All right. Jacob's trouble has to come in. Also with the MOTB, that's part of the end of the story, man. You see? So let's get some precepts, showing you that, Jacob's trouble is going to be led, leading, our people to the MOTB. All right. And only the elect is going to get saved out of it. Okay. So let's get Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. All right. And it reads, this is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 6. And it reads, ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and our faces are turned into paleness. Okay. And we're in those times, it hasn't heightened up all the way because we understand this is future prophecy, but it's, boiling up, to that level. Okay. Because you have, you got that ICE, pulling up on Jake, man. Okay. I'm seeing video after video where, we're seeing them just run up into Jake's home, where in the places where they reside, pulling and snatching them up out of there and, taking them and putting them in the back of these empty trucks. Okay. So, hey, man, this time that's approaching, it's very nigh, So this here, what this is going into, it's going to get to that that bad to where you're going to see men, all right, acting like a woman, man, because he's afraid, all right. And what's going to cause a man to be afraid, is for what he see and don't understand, okay. But the elect, we're going to have that hedge of protection of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, Lord willing, we those men and women. Verse 7, and it reads, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it. Okay. So this is future prophecy, Yeah, we done been through some harsh times, through history. Although, captivity has been bad and all the different captivities under these heathen nations. We're not, saying that it hasn't been bad, but this day here is going to be totally different. Okay. And you can get some of these accounts in the New Testament as well. Well, first, let's go to Daniel real quick, because, the same thing is spoken in Daniel. This is Daniel 12:1, and it reads, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the archangel, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, which are the elect, And there shall be a time of trouble, which is Jacob's trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Okay, and that's going into the elect. All right, so we hadn't been into that time yet, because this time that hasn't been before. We haven't had a nuclear war on earth the way it's described in the in prophecy, where the earth is gonna shake, okay, where a mountain's gonna be moved out of its place, islands no more gonna be found. We haven't experienced that yet, okay, on earth. And Lord willing, we don't, we those men and women who don't get to experience that. We are part of the elect, okay, where you get to watch all this happen. You see, from the chariots, okay. Let's grab Matthew, the 24th chapter. You see, this is Matthew chapter 24. And we're going to start from verse 22, okay. And it reads, and except those days shall be shortened, and this is coming from our deliverer, Yahweh himself. Okay, and it reads, and except those days be shortened. What days? The days of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Okay, and when you read it in the NLT, let's read it over there, verse 22, and it reads, in fact, unless that time of calamity is shortened, not a single person will survive. But it will be shortened for the sake of thy power's chosen ones. And that's why you always hear me speak of the chosen and the elect, okay? You see? And those are the ones that's going to get saved out of it, all right? So this time hasn't taken place yet. And this is where we're heading into, okay? Let's grab another account in Mark, the 13th chapter, okay? This is Mark chapter 13. And we'll start from... we'll start from verse 19. Okay, this is Mark chapter 13 and verse 19. And before I get that, let me grab a precept. I'm gonna come back to that. Let me get Isaiah 10. Okay, because I meant to get this earlier. Okay, Isaiah 10 and I think it's 20. Yep. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 20, and it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob. Okay, what is that going into? Okay, that's going into Jacob's trouble. Shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, which is going into our enemy, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man in these heathen nations, all right? But shall stay upon the Lord thy power, Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth, okay? So, through faith, the remnant, which is the elect, okay, they're going to escape it, this time of trouble, all right? Let's go back to Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. Let's get verse 8, because I meant to touch that too. And it reads, this is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, and we're not in that day, but in that day, which is future prophecy, said Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Okay? So we'll no longer be foreigners, all right, to our masters. You see, we won't no longer be in captivity, all right, because the elect, for the elect's sake, we will be saved and delivered out of it, okay? And this is letting you know that we're headed to the MOTB, this New World Order. That's why they're trying to make everything digital now, all right? These talking points, social points, where you can't say different things, or, you're going to be, deemed as a terrorist, okay? Frowned upon, okay? For speaking truth, because of these devils they know that, you know, he can't hide anymore. So he's just coming flat out at Jacob, man. You know, all hell is breaking loose. He know his time is short. You see? All right. So let's go back to the New Testament. Let's grab that account again. This is Mark chapter 13. We're going to start from verse 19. And it reads, "For in those days shall be affliction," Jacob's trouble, "such as was not from the beginning of the creation which thou power unto this time, neither shall be." Okay? So this is what's going to take place, man. All right? There's no make America great again, man. Okay? The only time America been great, it was in slavery, man. You see? In verse 20, and it reads, "And except that the Lord had shortened," Yahweh Shem Yahushua had shortened those days, "no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he had chosen, he has shortened the days." All right? So we depending, which is Jacob, we depending the elect on Yahushua, man. That's who we putting our faith in, not in the law, statutes, and commandments, although they are good, because we supposed to rehearse the righteous acts, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. But you got to have your faith in Yahushua, man, through his death, burial, and resurrection, okay? That we be delivered out of this, man. Jacob, y'all need to be humble. And this is for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true Hebrew Israelites, all right? Let's get Revelation, okay? Chapter 2 and verse 10, and it reads, "For none of those things which thou shalt suffer, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison." And what is that going into? The FEMA camps, man. All right? This is talking about you, Jacob. Where you think ICE, where they gonna be rounding up Jacob and throwing him into? It's gonna be them FEMA camps, Alligator Alcatraz. Okay? That's one of them that should ring a bell. You see? "That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. And those 10 days is going into, you know, a complete number, whether that is 5 days, 3 days, 7 days, 15 days, okay? Whatever that time be, you know, be faithful, okay? That's what you should be doing when you in there during that time. And this is for the elect. "Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." Okay? And this is what we, and this is what, you know, what gives the elect hope, man. All right? We understand that Jacob's trouble is coming. All right? We understand what we're a part of. I'm going to go ahead and get Revelation, the 3rd chapter. Let's go ahead and get Revelation, the 3rd chapter. This is verse 10, okay? This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10, and it reads, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience," okay, and it's going into the elect, "I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation." And that's that MOTB, all right? That micro C-hip, "which shall come upon all the world." And we're going to get into that. "To try them that dwell upon the earth." And this is what Jacob's trouble is all about, okay? Verse 11, and it reads, "Behold, I come quickly." This is Yahushua speaking. "Hold that fast which thou hast." So we in that time. As this thing continue to heighten up and speed up, Yahushua gonna shorten these days, man. We about to get ready and get up out of here, but we got to be in the spirit, the right mindset. You can't be attached to this world, all right? Love not the world, okay? Because those who love the world is going to try to save his life by getting that micro C-hip, you see? But the elect, we don't have no love for this. Lord willing, we those men and women, okay, for this world. Okay, that's why he says, you know, "Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown." All right? And that's going into getting on them chariots, man, getting those immortal bodies. All right? Being part of that, being part of the elect. Okay. So we gotta be faithful unto death, man. Okay. Salaki. This is Revelation, the 13th chapter. Let's grab it. Revelation 13 and 16, because that's what this is going into. All right. Revelation 13 and 16, and it reads, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And then that WEF, you know, Charles Schwab, whatever, okay, you know, said, you know, the plan that they have is that you're not going to own anything and you're going to love it. Okay. So he's saying, he's letting you know that, hey man, this is what's going to take place. Y'all going to be slaves. You see? And you're going to love it. Okay. And let me read that again. Going back over it. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand. And that mark is going into the charagma, which, you know, let's get that real quick. Which is a graven image, okay? Graven and etching of the skin. You see? Charagma. It's a stamp and imprinted mark. All right. The things carved, sculpture, graven work of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. And we know that there's many Antichrists, but this going into this beast system. You see? And then when you read that here in the Strong's definition, from the same as G5 482, a scratch or etching, stamp as a badge of servitude, okay? Graven mark. So he's trying to put that micro C-hip in you, okay? That's why everything has to go digital. This economy crashing, all right? They stopped paying the government, all right? They on purposely crashing this economy, man. All right, people losing their jobs, their homes, okay? So he can usher in this digital CBDC, all right? Where you're getting a digital ID and all of these things to further this NWO. Okay? That's how he's gonna cause it to happen. But you know, some other event's gonna take place to speed this thing up, man. And we gotta be in the spirit, you see? Let's get Revelation, the 14th chapter. All right. And verse 17, and it reads, and that no man, this is Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay. And when you go into that, you know, this is the image of the beast. This is image of the beast. That is the system. Okay. And his system, you see? And then, you know, that's also going into the mark, you know, which you have the number and the name of the beast. All of that is part of the beast system. It's not no Jesus Christ. And then if you don't have Jesus Christ, I hate saying that shit, that you can't buy and sell without some Jesus Christ. That doesn't make sense, okay? This is a literal device implanted in your skin, and we're going to read part of it, of what's going to take place in Revelation, the 14th chapter. All right, this is Revelation chapter 14. We're going to start from verse 9, and it reads, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, what's going to happen? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of thy power, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, which means his righteous anger. okay? And this is what he's coming to do, is to judge the earth, man. He's going to plead with all flesh, okay? I mean, everyone is going to get judged, man. And the elect going to get saved out of it, okay? That's faithful and true. Continuing on, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. So this is what Yahweh Shai coming to do with the angels, the chariots, okay? It's to bring destruction, okay? Especially to Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great is going to be desolated, man. Nuclear destruction. Laser beams from the chariots, which you so-called UFOs. You see? Continuing on again, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay? Verse 11, and it reads, and the smoke of their torment as ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Okay? So anybody who accept the MOTB, that micro C-hip, that's your future, man. You're going to get destroyed. Okay? So Jacob's trouble is leading into the MOTB system, man. And we're going to, as a, Jacob, the elect, we're going to be following the instruction, that Yahweh Shai set up using the angels, with the men of the Lord, okay? The messengers, all right? You should be taking heed, okay? Preparing yourself, what's about to take place. All right? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. Shalom.